I think that I can definitely get the gold play button. I got the silver one. I got the
Mhm.
silver one right next to me, right up here.
There we
So
go,
now,
man. Congratulations. Super, super excited to have you here, man, for the interview. I'm glad again for the people who don't know out there, Jordan, my man, back here. So let's start with this, man. Let's start very, very slowly, basically, and give people basically who are watching us a little bit of an introduction into who we are, what you've done with YouTube automation, basically. And most people basically out there, the first thing they want to hear, the first thing they want to know is money, man. So how much money are you making with this, Jordan?
like 5 to 13 grand a month, somewhere in those areas each month.
That's that's solid, man. That's solid. What was I don't know, like how are you doing in September? What was September like?
About 8 grand.
Okay. Yeah, that's solid, man. That's solid. How did you start this whole process, man? Walk us through basically your journey and your path on YouTube automation.
Then one day I saw an ad
Hmm.
on like how to make viral videos without showing your face and without making videos. Now the
Yeah.
not showing your face part, that didn't really intrigue me because there's a lot of guys in the community I came from in the 2K community. There's a lot of successful YouTubers with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subs that never showed their face. So
Yeah.
that didn't really wow me. But without making videos, I was like, well, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was curious. I clicked it. I watched the dude's webinar,
Hmm.
and literally everything made sense. I basically knew what I was going to do, which was scary videos,
Hmm.
because I was already familiar with it. Those of you that watch these kinds of videos probably know Mr. Nightmare, Chills, Nuke's Top 5. Like, I was already watching those guys. So basically, as someone that watched those videos, I know what people that watch those videos want to see.
Yeah. So you basically went into the scary videos niche because you yourself was watching the videos like prior to starting making content, right? You were a viewer first and then became a creator.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
funny enough, that's also how like exactly how I started my first channel. I was literally browsing every day, every single day. I was trying to make money online, right? Again, pretty much the same thing, super broke. Had an online business basically that was doing not that good, not that well. Never had a like real job with a contract and whatnot. I was moving chairs for a restaurant. But anyway, so I was basically Googling how to make money online. And there were all those channels basically out there at the time on like, hey, how to make money online typing for free, how to make money online doing surveys, watching videos, and doing this and doing that, or coloring, $5 per hour, this, that, five or upward, all those basically. And then I remember like I tried 10, 20, maybe even 30 things. And then I didn't really like, maybe I made like $10 here, $15 here. But I soon realized like I don't want to make $10 to $15 in a day or in a method where it's not sustainable and repeatable. So then my first idea when I first started my YouTube automation channel was like, whoa, those guys were getting a lot of views. There are definitely a lot of people out there who are curious like me and who are interested like me. So then that's pretty much how I went to my first niche where we're basically showcasing like what's possible and what's not possible in the like make money online community. So that's a good story, man. I like that. At this point, basically, you've taken the first course, you've started the scary videos. How long ago did you start your channel? So like how old is the channel now?
My first upload was July 5th of 2021.
Yeah, so we're in
So over a
September
year.
now, a little over a year now. Okay, that's nice. And then how did it went from there? Like, how important do you think is picking the right niche to start with?
It's extremely important. There's several factors, which is you want to look at niches that are going to get you views not just now but years from now. I mean, you can get into trendy niches, but just know that it's not going to work long term. You want to look for long term niches like scary videos. Guys I mentioned earlier, like Mr. Nightmare, Chill, Snoop's Top 5, they've been doing this for 6, 7 years and they're still getting millions of views.
Yeah,
There's signs of those guys dying off. Scary videos will be popular till the end of time, most likely, I would think. And then there's other niches, there's business, like people are always gonna want to watch videos about rich people, tech,
yeah.
you know, views vids with lots of traffic. Make sure there's multiple videos with millions of views, not just a couple 100,000. The great example, don't do a tree climbing niche. Like you might like tree climbing, but there's not
Hmm.
gonna be a lot of traffic in tree climbing. You might find a couple with 100,000 views in like 10 years. But if you start that, you're gonna be very disappointed. So look for a niche with tons of traffic and millions of views, and
Yeah.
just know it's working,
So you'd
and
say,
just take inspiration.
yeah. So you'd say you do something that's already working that you know will also work like 5 to 10 years from now. So like already working and evergreen, right?
Exactly.
How did you put together a team, man? So when it comes to starting the YouTube automation channel, you have chosen your niche. How did you put together a team? Like, where did you find those people? What are the mistakes basically that you did at first, or how? Again, what was the relationship basically between like you and hiring people? Was this the first time you were hiring people, or you had experience hiring, managing teams before, anything like that?
Fiverr is basically my bread and butter.
Hmm.
So, and as for my editor, I also found the editor on Fiverr, which honestly, Fiverr might not be the best place to find editors. Might be better off on Upwork, but luckily this guy was very good for me. So this is where I got really lucky. I'm not gonna lie. This dude is actually familiar with YouTube automation. Makes it a lot easier because he just knows what I want. So honestly, anyone that's looking for an editor, you should probably try and find someone that actually knows what YouTube automation is, because it makes it a lot easier because they know what you're looking for, as opposed to someone that, like, if you're looking at someone that only edited gaming videos but never did a YouTube automation type video, like a faceless channel type stuff, it's probably gonna be a lot harder for them to understand. I mean, you can train them, but it's gonna be a lot harder because I've been reaching out to other editors. I've reached out to other editors before him, and it wasn't the best experience.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah,
What
they're
would you
both
say?
fantastic to work with.
What would you say are your main 3 tips when it comes to hiring and putting together a team? So let's say again, I'm starting from scratch right now. I want to hire my team. What are the 3 quick things basically that you would say to a beginner? Like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this.
First thing is, I think it depends on the niche. Like scary videos, you obviously have to be really picky with that. You need
Mhm.
someone with a deep, intimidating voice. So don't just hire just any person like an energetic voice. That's a mistake I made at first. I feel like those first couple videos would have done a lot better if I had the guy that I have now the whole time. But like for other things, you don't have to be as picky. Like a business channel, I don't feel like you have to be as picky. But for narrator, just go on Fiverr. That's the one where you don't really, I don't really recommend Upwork, because Fiverr you can listen to their demo. You know, you actually know what they sound like, because like on Upwork they have like a good resume, the pricing's good for you and whatever. And then like you hear them and it's like, okay, this person's not going to be a fit. Fiverr, you know right away. So you can just listen to the person. So just make sure you look up someone that has a good voice, energetic,
Yeah,
engaging
yeah.
voice that will like hook people. If I had $1 for every time I seen a comment like, "Oh, I love the narrator's voice," I would have a lot more money. I'll just put it like that. There's so many comments about the voice, so and that's engagement too. Like a comment's a comment. If you can get comments about just your voiceover guy's voice or woman, then that's amazing. As for editor and scriptwriter, um, so I don't know how many of you are from the US or like speak fluent English, but most viewers on YouTube speak English, fluent English. Most of your views are usually going to be from the United States. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
So
pretty
you
much.
want to make sure you work with people that know and speak fluent English, especially script writers. Like the script writer I have is from Pakistan, but he speaks fluent English. So make sure you find people that are affordable and can speak fluent English. And as for editor, like I said, I think finding someone that actually is familiar with YouTube automation, or is at least familiar with these types of videos, I think that would, I think that makes it a lot easier, because I worked with editors that had no idea what these kinds of videos were, and it wasn't the best experience. So I think you should look for experienced people. Narrators, you can get away with it, because like you can kind of like give them directions on like how to talk. Like my guy didn't do narrations for scary videos, but he ended up pretty effing good at it. he was a meditation guy. I don't know if he does like meditation YouTube or like whatever it's for, but the point is he wasn't doing scary videos. So like narrators you can train. Everything else, make sure they're familiar with it. That's the main advice I can give on hiring.
Okay. I love it, man. I love it. So, again, by now we've chosen a niche, you've chosen your team basically. How long did it took you basically to start making money? So you started, I don't know, you started said in August or July. How long was it until you started making like some money?
Um, so October was the month I got monetized, and I had like
Okay.
100,000 views, but I didn't get monetized till like mid-month, so I don't even know what that full 100,000 would have made me. I made like 400 something dollars. Uh, December was my first ever on either channel $1,000 a month, which
Okay.
was a huge deal for me. So upload in July, so August, September, October, 3 months it took me to make a few $100. 4 months it took me to make $1,000. And then it
Pretty
was
fast.
February where I think February I made like either 3 or 4 grand. And March was when the channel started going bonkers. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
almost 5 million views. And my revenue per mile at the time was like $2.
Yeah.
Like right now, my revenue per mile is way higher than that. But I made 13 grand in March off of like 4.5 million views with a $2 RPM. So if
Yeah.
you're in a higher profit niche with those views, you would make, I can only imagine that's an insane amount of money you would be making.
Yeah, 100%. And so basically, it took you about 3 months and you were making a few $100 basically. Then 4 months, and you start making your first $1,000 month. And then a few months after, basically, you start making three, four. And then in March, so that's about like 9 months into it, you start making like $13,000, right? And that was the biggest month I've ever had.
Right.
Yeah, I got you, man. And then basically from March, I would expect again, because you're in the scary videos niche, which is more like up and down. Like some videos can perform, some videos don't perform. So it's more
Mhm.
volatile to call it that. You're basically kind of in this space of making like $5,000 to $13,000 per month since then. Which let's say would be an average of like $80,000 to $90,000, maybe even $100,000 per year. Yeah, if you make on average you make $100K a year, man. So that's impressive, bro. That's impressive. Congratulations. You start with the channel from scratch, which is again a common practice, I'd say, but we also know we have the other practice. But yeah, I would say that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good from starting with the channel from scratch. Still, it's basically, as you saw, it's the compound effect, right? Like you didn't start posting today and you start making money tomorrow. That's just not how it works. Sorry to disappoint the people out there, basically. But if you're willing to be patient enough and if you're willing to wait, it can become a very, very good stream of passive income where you don't really have to work a 9 to 5 job, or you have to work very hard and make again 3, 4, 5, 10, $13,000. So that's great, man. What's next, man? Like, what do you want to do? What about it now? Do you want to focus on this channel and grow it further, make more money, or do you want to open a second channel or a third channel or a fourth channel?
So of course I'm going to continue working on the scary videos channel. I think knowing how sustainable it is, knowing how long these types of channels stay popular, I think that I can definitely get the gold play button. I got the silver one. I got the
Mhm.
silver one right next to me, right up here.
There we
So
go,
now,
man. Congratulations.
thank you. I want the gold one too. So of course I'm going to work on that channel. I got a great team helping me with that, and of course, I actually have another channel that I started. So I'm looking to get a silver play button. That basically my long term goal is basically have a wall just full of plaques. Like Mr. You see how many plaques Mr. Beast has? I don't know if I can ever get to that, but you never say never. But that's insane. But basically, that's like an idea of how I want my one of my walls to look or look.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I got you. That's great, man. That's great. I don't remember exactly how long it took me to get my first black. I'm how should you say, like after I got my first black and then I got the first million black and I got a second million black, I realized that because I'm like I moved from Romania to Dubai and I'm traveling and I'm doing this, I cannot get the plaques with me. So I said, I cannot stack up as many plaques. So I started giving them away. I give plaques right now to my editors, to my voiceover guys, to my channel managers, to my friends. And I don't stack up basically plaques, but it's definitely a nice achievement. I'm thinking of putting some on the wall right here. Not sure. Not sure yet, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely a cool thing. But yeah, I'd say most people are more interested in making the money that YouTube automation can provide and taking the rewards than that. So now let me ask you this, man. How do you find our program? How do you like the course? How do you like the support? How do you like the community in there?
So how I found out about you was one of the business pages on IG that I thought, I think it
Mhm.
might have been Wealth.
Yeah, probably.
They said like if you want to know about YouTube automation, like Raz is the guy.
Mhm.
And I was honestly shocked that you responded because you have so many followers. And before you know it, you're like, hey, let's book a call. And I was like, all right. And then the call happened, and here I am. As for the community, it's great. I love the page. I'm loving the course. I love getting to meet with you. You got a really nice community going. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Again, the community aspect of it's definitely what interests me the most, as is again the community that I want to build and I really want to focus on. We are the biggest YouTube automation paid community on earth, therefore the biggest YouTube automation educational company on earth. But we want to keep it going. We want everybody to engage. We want everybody to add value and receive value back, because that's pretty much what a community is, right? It's not like 1,000 inactive members that never talk. They make a post once a month and that's it. We want to really build something bigger. And again, I thank you for being a part of it, and thank you so much for coming to this one. Now, to wrap it up and to end it, what would you say it's the most important factor when starting a YouTube automation show? All right. So if you could go back, what would you keep like as a motto or as a phrase, like, hey, if this is true, then you're gonna have success?
I am actually so glad you asked that 'cause I was actually going to ask if I could say one more thing, but this is basically going to lead to me saying it. So the most important thing, definitely patience, honestly, because I thought YouTube was honestly going to be really easy because it seemed easy,
Mhm.
like, oh, post this video gameplay and you get all these views. But for anyone that's just getting YouTube or just got into YouTube, or if you've been doing YouTube, screw it. It's definitely not as easy as it seems. You got patience. Your videos are not going to perform. Your first like 30 videos are probably going to fail. They might blow up later, like how some of mine did, and some will just, not get views. But just have patience, keep grinding, learn from it. The YouTube Studio is a great tool.
Yeah,
Just
indeed.
look at the click-through rate, look at your average view duration, just look at everything and just see what you can do better to make your videos better, make your thumbnails better, make your titles better. Just keep learning. I mean, I'm still learning. Raz is still learning. You don't
Yeah.
ever stop learning. And the last thing I want to say, this is like the last thing I wanted to say, growing patience. Remember how earlier I said I gave myself a 1 year deadline to get success back in 2K16 and I go back to school? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Success does not have a deadline. I'm not
I
sure if
like
anyone
that.
ever said that. But I basically came up with that in my head. If someone said that, okay, I'm not gonna claim I came up with that phrase myself, but I never heard anyone else say that. Success does not have a deadline. So you just keep grinding, keep
Let's get it,
keep
man.
posting, and you're going to see success eventually. But don't give yourself a deadline. Success will come whenever success is ready to come to you. But as long as you put in the work, it's going to come. Trust.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Thank you so much for being here today, Jordan. Thank you so much, brother.
Of course. Thanks for having me, man. Means a lot.